that they are such a big part of our community, Fanchon.
Yeah, Bob, you're looking right now at Monument Circle where they are headed. And we also know that there are people out as we prepare for the public address here at Monument Circle. Our Darius Johnson is there right now. He has been there for a good part of the morning as preparations have been underway. I don't know if Darius can hear us, if we're able to go to Darius. All right, Darius, I want to go to you right now as we await the motorcade, the procession coming towards you. I see some people standing behind you. Are more people coming in, or is the address going right now?
Yes, it's actually going right now. I'm not sure if you all can hear it. It's a little faint in the background, but it's Mayor Hogsетт's voice. It's the same address that he gave just last week. He's saying, blessed are the peacemakers. You know, the sacrifices that many of these people are making on a daily basis, just honoring her life and honoring all of the officers we have right here in our city. We just got an update in about the last 2 minutes. They are around 16th and Senate, getting ready to come down Meridian Street to where they will hit Monument Circle and then head towards Market Street, passing under the Garrison flag, a very monumental moment, while Mayor Hogsett is speaking over this speaker, giving his address to Officer Breanne Leath, rather.
Distancing, but what is the scene there right now?
Yeah, the scene here right now, there are a lot of people here. Many of these people are just anxiously waiting. We're seeing a lot more people pour in within the last 5 minutes. Many of them just standing right here on the steps. Some of them just sitting on the steps as well, holding signs, holding American flags, holding our state flag. Many of them quiet, but I think the biggest takeaway from looking at all of this, everyone is emotional. You're seeing it within their faces that Bree has touched everyone who is here today. Many of them say that they were working from home and they've been watching this coverage and they just decided to come outside to pay tribute to her. There's so many people here right now, most of them just strangers, some of them just wanting to bring their kids out as well to honor her as they've been looking at these stories as well. We're seeing more people even walk up with children right now. So just a very powerful moment. You can even see some of these IFD firefighters line up right here just to take a photo really fast under that Garrison flag before that procession heads this way.
I have one more question before we let you go. I mean, you mentioned that you talked to some of the people there. Obviously, I can't imagine that any of them actually knew Breanne Leath. What else did they tell you about why it was so important for them to come out and pay this type of respect?
Well, you know, I think the most pivotal thing that I've heard so far today is from someone who previously served in the Navy. She's actually not standing too far away from me right now. And she mostly talked about exactly what Officer Leath gave, what she did, what she provided to this city, and just how that moment and just how everything that she's done over the last 2.5 years is something that sits with her. She's 33 years old, she's a mother, and she's obviously thinking about Officer Leath, 24 years old, a mother as well, both of them serving. So just a lot of those comparisons and a lot of those similarities just really sitting with her and just cherishing those moments. And just, she even said she wished she could have been her friend because of everything that she's learning about her. Just a wonderful person.
You know, Darius, it's interesting you said, you know, she wishes she could be her friend. And as you were saying those words, I was thinking, you know, because of the beauty of today, we all, in some respects, feel as though Bree was our friend. She was such a friend to so many people. We were getting to know her in such an intimate way that you can't help but feel as though she was our friend.
Yes, and you know, even for all of us, it's so weird and it's so funny just to hear all of this, how many people are just saying she is like a friend to us. She is just this amazing person, this amazing character, someone who will give to anyone. I think for me, the biggest thing that I've seen over the last week, just the photos and the images coming in, there's one that continuously sits with me And actually, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop. We see them coming in right now. We're going to try to give you a closer shot of this motorcade as it begins to come in. You can see the lights. You see the flag blowing in the wind. This will be a very somber moment. You hear Mayor Hogsett in the background with this tribute. This is the moment everyone has been waiting for, as this is somewhat of Officer Leith's victory lap around the city of Indianapolis, coming right here downtown to hit the Monument Circle, to then hit IMPD headquarters, and then MCSO headquarters before proceeding to East District, where she served.
Pause. But John, quickly, I wanted to bring you in. The symbolism of Monument Circle, it represents the center of our community, and it represents Breanne Leith's connection to that community.
You know, I do appreciate that he said this is her victory lap, because this is an opportunity for the community, but for the officers in that procession to really just have some quiet time and reflect and slow things down a little bit and just take it all in. And it is an honor for her to go to Monument Circle, where so many honorable events have taken place, and so many honorable names are enshrined. It is truly an honor for everyone.
And this is probably going to be the first time when we start to see the community come out, and visually that's going to take on a deeper emotional significance, because of course the community was not able to be there at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but now we're going to be able to see the inclusion of those people from the community who have decided to come out with social distancing and also pay their respects to Officer Leith, to her family, to our men and women in blue, her police family, as they approach the American flag there on Monument Circle, as Mayor Hogsett's tribute to Officer Leith is playing there in the public square, the Monument Circle, that for us here, Bob and Nick, this is Indianapolis. This is the symbol of our city and our community.
We are going to be pausing in just a moment, but Nick, just very quickly, if you could give me your thoughts. You've covered ceremonies like this before at Crown Hill. What goes through your mind, and what, when you see a procession like this pull up?
You know, it's as things go in slow motion and you pause, and it becomes a very silent reflection of what you're seeing and what that means. And I also want to draw a point. Look at how the streets are beginning to fill. We're starting to see people pop in. A few minutes ago, they looked pretty empty. Now you're starting to see the community come out because of how important this moment is. And even though in processions just like this, you tend to have hundreds of cars, there is a silence that comes with this moment that is so reflective. And it makes you really appreciate the sacrifice of the officer that they're honoring. In this case, it is Officer Breanne Leith. And we touched a bit too about how we feel that we know her through the stories of all of her good deeds and her actions. And it's something that I've been thinking about for a while now, about why that is. Why do we always feel so connected to these people that we don't know? And all I can come up with really is that it's because it speaks to the best of us, of what we should be and what we should be aspiring to. Also, is because as we hear these stories from other people in the community about the impact that she has, what we know about gratitude is it reciprocates. And so as we hear their gratitude, we become grateful for her very presence. And I've said this, I have never met Officer Breanne Leith, but I'm extremely grateful for her impact on this city.
John, as we watch this procession, as it makes its way to Monument Circle, around Monument Circle, I should say, when the carriage gets to that Garrison flag, typically there is a pause and a salute, correct?
Yeah, I think that's likely what you'll see. Traditionally, that is what you see. And what you're seeing now is all of the police officers involved, they lead the coach. So you'll always see them in front of the coach, and the coach will be the last of this line of police cars.
And this line of police cars is not as long as it typically would be because of social distancing. But again, we are anticipating as many as 100, 150 police cars. And that this has been a very, very fluid situation because of the speed and some of the challenges that they had in putting together all of these remembrances, correct?
Yeah, hats off to the planners of this. the things that they had to get creative with, and they really have thought outside the box and found an honorable way to carry out this memorial service.
I am just struck by that image right there, that line of police vehicles going right up the main street of Indianapolis, Meridian Street. And it really is such a touching picture, one of many that we will see throughout the afternoon. When the carriage does get to the Garrison flag, we will pause our coverage just very briefly to listen in. And again, we are expecting to hear an address from Mayor Joe Hogsett, one that was recorded, his thoughts, his honors for Breann Leath.
Yeah, in fact, that address, I believe, is playing right now. You, again, if you are just joining us, our coverage of Officer Bree Leath's memorial and celebration of life today. You see the procession just leaving IMS, now heading into Monument Circle, where we can see there are many people from the community, children, young, old, who have come out just to pay their respects. Nick so eloquently putting it, you know, we're so grateful to Bree Leath for her dedication to our community, her willingness to step in the gap each and every day, putting herself in harm's way, being willing to lay her life down for the life of another. And you see there some people from the community who have come out to pay their respects. When you see how deeply a young woman at 24 has touched a community, and you see and hear about her commitment to live out her faith each and every day, and the power of how that can touch other people's lives, it is undeniable. And we will forever remember this day. Through a hard time in our country right now, where there is so much uncertainty, where there is so much fear and anxiety, in moments of grief and challenge and trial like this, we're reminded that there is hope and that there is one who gives us that hope. And we share that as a community right now, and you're seeing it, you're experiencing it. We are all experiencing it together, even though we are distanced with social distancing. There you can see more people who have come out to Monument Circle. Bob, we see that procession taking that half circle there, and now heading up to IMPD headquarters, I believe, is the next stop along this procession.
We want to be respectful of the moment, but I'm hoping that we can bring in Darius Johnson into our conversation right now. Darius, can you hear me right now? Can you describe for us what it's like there at this moment?
Yes, Bob and Fanchon, I can hear you all. It's really quiet. It's really somber. It's one of those situations where everyone is just taking it in right now. All you're hearing is camera clicks back to back. A lot of people holding their cameras, just trying to capture this moment. I'm even looking at fellow officers, her brothers and sisters in blue, who are standing here as well, somber looks on their face. Very sad, but also grateful for knowing Officer Breann Leath, and obviously grateful for the woman who she is and everything that she has given to this city as well. Just one of those things that we continuously hear about her as the day goes on. As I step out of this shot and just give you all another look, I want you to look at these lights in this single file line coming down Meridian Street, something that you don't see very often, but obviously, again, through this pandemic, a fewer amount of officers, but these are still the officers of the East District, the officers of that 16th recruit class that she was a part of, who are here, a part of this procession, leading that carriage, leading that hearse as they get ready to do her victory lap around this city to continue paying honor and tribute to Officer Breann Leath. A very pivotal moment here as you see so many people continuously join, many people continuously waving their flags, taking photos, many of them starting to get up as well. Those people who were sitting down in the beginning, they're starting to get up as they continuously get closer and closer as they make their way through Monument Circle, as Mayor Hogsett's address continues to play in the background, honoring her life and her legacy at just 24 years old.
All right, Darius, thank you very much. John, I'll bring you into the conversation right now. I have to say that I'm struck by the number of police vehicles in this procession. Quite frankly, it's more than I thought. But again, the outpouring of support is such that it's something that officers can't pass up the opportunity to honor one of their own.
It may appear to be more than you thought, but it would be many more if they could. So many
Right.
officers want to be there that aren't able.
Well, and it gets to the point that the whole purpose of today was this balancing act that we talked about earlier, where and there's the carriage. So I'm going to go ahead and hold that thought, and we're going to pause our coverage as we wait. Is that the carriage? No.
The coach is
The coach
back.
is further
There,
back.
you see
so
the
no.
motorcycles.
There it is,
there.
further back.
Here.
So I'll go ahead and I'll finish that thought, John, where you're striking that balance between honor and abiding by the social distancing.
Yeah, it is a difficult balance, but it's important to everybody involved to hit every single traditional thing that you would see in a police funeral.
And Bob, what I'm struck by is that we see children there. And the one thing that we have learned about Officer Leith is that she was inspired to serve her community as a child. So you have to wonder, when you see these awe-inspiring images that we are seeing, is there another Breanne Leith in that crowd?
Well, no doubt
a
there
child?
is. That's how children's dreams get ignited. That's how you understand and find out what the passion is and what the gifts are that have been placed inside your heart from the time you were born. And she talked about, Nick, when her dad brought that police car home and turned on the lights, she knew instantly why she was created. She knew instantly what her calling was. And we're going to pause here as we can all just pay reverence as Officer Leith's body is brought in to Monument Circle.
So again, the procession making its way around Monument Circle right now, the center of our city, the symbolic center of our city as well. And we talked about what Indianapolis meant to Bree Leith and the impact that she made in those 24 years and the impact that she will continue to make as these children and all of the people that she touched throughout her career, not just in IMPD, but in the Department of Corrections, and also as a veteran. The example that she set, John, is something that will live on forever.
It's an example that we all hope to follow. She had a big heart. We learned that kindness is contagious. And from what I've learned about her is she was one of the kindest people around.
Yeah.
And I think that shows in the memorial stories that we're hearing today.
We are talking now about, how she has touched so many, and her legacy is already starting. And I am honored to even be able to make this announcement right now. We've just gotten word, Mayor Hogsett has said that Officer Leith, of course, she worked at the Indiana Women's Prison, and now at Governor Holcomb's briefing this afternoon, the governor announced that they are renaming the Women's Prison Nursery after Officer Leith. The nursery at the Women's Prison will now be named the Officer Breanne Leith Memorial Maternal and Child Health Unit. As we know that she started part of her career at the Women's Prison, a young correctional officer who came in as kind of a shining light, and she made a mark just starting there. And we heard a little bit about her time there and how much she impressed the people there. But her legacy is starting, and it's going to be a lasting legacy. We know that.
This is breaking news. The governor making that announcement at his 2:30 coronavirus update,
Yes.
and very, very appropriate because of the role that children played in Breanne Leith's life. So no surprise that Governor Eric Holcomb would choose this occasion to make that announcement. All right, we are watching the procession as it makes its way out of downtown and over towards the east side. It is going to be taking that right and taking that left and heading east out to Washington Street, out to East District.